Light and darkness. Dear friends, the theme of light and darkness is brought out very beautifully in the first reading and the gospel of today. A story clarifies this theme very meaningfully. A spiritual master once asked his students, "When can you say the night is gone and the day has dawned?" One student put up his hand and said, "When I look at a distance at a tree and say whether that tree is an apple tree or a mango tree." The master said, "No." Another student put up his hand and said, "When I'm able to look at a distance and see an animal and distinguish and say whether it is a donkey or a cow." And the master again shook his head in disapproval. Many answers were given, but the master did not accept any of them. So the student said, "Sir, you give us the answer." And the master said, "When you look into the face of a man or woman, and when you recognize in that face your brother, your sister, you are in the light. If you are unable to recognize your brother or your sister in that face, then however bright the light may be, you are still in darkness. This is the darkness about which the readings of today present to us. Jesus comes from Nazareth to Capernaum, to two provinces of the kingdom of Israel, Zebulun and Naphtali. They are very precious and very fertile lands, and hence people from all over came and settled there. They brought in their traditions, they brought in their idols, their faith, their cult, and so the Israelites living there lost their roots, their contact with their God and with their tradition. Hence this land is called the land of darkness by prophet Isaiah 700 years before Jesus was born. Today Jesus walks into these two towns, these provinces, and we read, Matthew tells us, "The people dwelling in darkness have seen a great light, and those dwelling in the region of shadow and death, on them the light has dawned." Jesus came to bring light into the situation of darkness, where they lost their contact with God. And Jesus reveals to them our Father's face, our face which is compassionate, merciful, loving, ever present. The Pharisees and the Sadducees and Israel tradition had carved out a picture of God as a very severe God, a punishing God, a distant God. But Jesus reveals a God who is constantly close to us, loving us unconditionally. And in this way, light came into their life once again. Light and darkness can also be affecting our own relationship with each other. Paul gives voice to this in his letter to the Corinthians. He says, "I hear there is quarreling among you. Where there is quarreling, fighting, division, hatred, anger, bitterness, they are living in darkness." The light comes when unity, oneness, compassion, mercy reigns. Jesus comes with this beautiful message to us: love your neighbor, pray for your enemies, pray for those who persecute you, bless those who curse you. The light of Christ has come into this world. Jesus said, "I am the light." The darkness can also prevent us from seeing our own truth about ourselves. Often we are lost in our own fears, anxieties, inferiority complex, jealousies and sadness, that we don't know that we are really beloved children of God. Hence Jesus' light shed this light upon our innermost being and tells us that we are really and truly children of God. Jesus came to say, "You are the light of the world." Hence, the Lord wants us to spread His light wherever we are. We spread His light, we become light when we become instruments of compassion, mercy, when we relate to God as our loving Father, when we relate to God, to each other with a deep compassion and love. May the light of Christ enlighten our life wherever we are. May we be instruments of compassion, mercy, and love. May God bless you.